And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how you doing? This is Rod Duff with Insights and Straight Talk, normally with Barbie, producer Barbie. But I had to jump in here today. I don't know. And by the way, I really thank everybody's participation yesterday. We're with secondary views. We're up over 700 views on that live stream as well. But I'm just jumping on here. I wanted to first say that, but something's really bothering me, meaning that I can already hear, I listen to all the different news stations. I can already hear for the rhetoric to get gearing up. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to get this stopped. And it's not us that we need to get stopped. It's the media. Technically, it's the politicians, but it's the media that drive each politician's narrative. I don't know how that's accomplished, whether it's actually rehearsed or just there's a wink and a nod, but you and I both know that no matter what station you listen to, it's isolated on one thing. But my point being, we could have had a really good income and a really good derivative through the pandemic. And I got to tell you, so many people are upset by this and really disappointed because we need a two-party system. And if the left-leaning Democratic components of that party insist on continuing to take the narratives they are, I mean, now they're calling Kennedy, the health czar. He's replacing the trans health czar. That real chunky lady. I don't remember her name. I'm not trying to be rude, and immediately they're going on and he's a conspiracy theorist and da 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 da, and it's already started. And we aren't even a week past the election. I really hope and pray to God that the people of this nation don't put up with that this time. If Trump's going to succeed, he's going to succeed. If he's going to fail, he's going to fail. If he's going down a wrong course, we're going to have a course correction. But gosh darn it, gosh darn it, we need to get the extremists from both party, but I don't hear a lot of extremism coming from the right at this point. I have heard it in the past, and these Lost Boys guys, I've heard about them, but I have no idea what that's all about. I don't think I've ever heard a word from them. I'm not an expert on everything, so I could be wrong, but I am imploring everybody listening and everybody to push the message forward. I'm imploring you, please just get the ability for our education to come in simply and congruently and honestly. AI is coming. We're going to have a lot more to deal with than this if we don't have down our politicians at that point. It's very critical that, as I've said before, the utopia is coming. AI is going to drive it. It's going to be the Jetsons, but who's going to control it? Is it going to be the American people, the great middle class, and thus the middle classes of the world? Or is it going to be the politicians and breaking their backs to break the banks? And every one of them, I mean, every single one of them has come in richer than they accruing more wealth than when they came into their office. But some of them are extremely scary. Like, I think AOC was a bartender and she's now worth $90 million or something like that. I don't know how you can do that off of a salary like that. And there's, Republicans as well. Politics is not a pretty game, but it could be a pretty game if you and me all the people around us start paying attention to the elections and the electorate and the people being elected and the people running who want to be elected. These are all critical things that these are all critical things. Sorry, somebody just popped on. That we need to have within our system to safeguard the most generous government on earth. I believe we should be a lot further ahead on scientific, space exploring, under the sea exploring. We should have all that kind of dialed in a lot further than it is. And don't get me wrong, NASA and now SpaceX, and there's a lot of things coming up, but I see trillions and trillions and trillions of our money. You hear me? Our money. This is our money, our money. It's our money. It's not like when your wife comes in and says, my money's my money and your money's my money. Well, that's what the government does. Think about how many times your dollar gets taxed. Right on payday, it's taxed. And, these all change depending on where you live, but it's tax after tax, sales tax. And if you, God forbid, if you make some good money, you get extended taxes. And I don't want to get into a tax class here, but, it is time for us to really get started on the educational process. We talked about yesterday, Barbie and I didn't even tell her I was hopping on. I just decided to jump on. Hi guys. Producer Barbie was talking about her son's family out in California. He's a sheriff, deputy sheriff, great big old boy. Anyway, he started talking to his mom, Barbie, about how to approach this election. And it started with his wife, actually, who, was never really involved or has not been frequently involved. And he was asking her questions about her thoughts. So this past Saturday before the election, they sat down and went through appendage. No, that's not right. Each item and each person on the ballot. And they talked around the circle of the three of them with the little baby next, Barbie's little granddaughter next, Ryan. And they went through and they chose their own things, because one thing, somebody might be willing and very interested in investing money in this project because it makes a lot of sense. Where somebody else, it's like, it doesn't affect me at all. Why would I don't see any use for it. But they made their own decisions, but they also made their own decisions as an educated person. This great middle class that we have here in the United States, as we've said before, depicts what the rest of the world is going to be doing. I can tell everybody across the world, and we have people watching here from Europe and Asia, I think Asia, and Switzerland. But the concern is across the world. I mean, I know people have always moved and there's been this and that, but this whole thing of aliens or immigrants coming in, when we have an immigrant system here in the country, we bring in logically and legally 1 million immigrants a year. And a guy that I was talking to yesterday, he's had now, mind you, he's a engineering expert. He was a engineer for several. God, I said it yesterday. Several Microsoft, and he's had to work remotely because his visa's been turned down twice. you talk about fixing the immigration system. Well, holy crap. I mean, there's a lot that needs to be fixed. And why? Because we don't know these things. So our government spends its 5 trillion, 15 trillion, or whatever it spends a year on the things that it wants to spend it on. That meaning the Democrats and the Republicans having their own interest, where it should be from both sides connected to the people for which they represent. Senators should be looking at things for their state and what's the best deal and the best way to make the people of their great state better and more prosperous for the people and the county and so forth. Same thing goes on with the representatives. They have districts. They're always screwing around with those districts. I still don't get the whole concept there, but I know it's a political game. And so then we have the president who is responsible for the nation with the others involved. And he's responsible for doing our bidding. They all are responsible for doing our bidding. Now, we can say this or that about personalities and so forth, but just coming out of the election, I finally decided to vote for Trump because of a couple of things. One, what's already starting again. The other side is immediately calling out names and throwing out false facts, claiming that what the other person is saying is false. Calling out, they're making it a mess again. Let me see, how are you doing? I am good. How are you guys doing? All right. Yes, we are very excited to present live here, and our group is growing, and that's exciting. But we need to take seriously what is happening in this world. I think I told you, I have a lady from Finland Switzerland coming on. I don't remember what day next week, but she's coming on because she's listened to what we're doing over here and what we're going through, knowing that the people of her great nation are going through the same exact thing. I don't get where this immigration all of a sudden just got so fanatical. I get people needing to leave situations and all, but that's not what's happening. And it's happening all over the world, all free nations. You don't see people, getting into Iran or, trying to get into Russia or anything like that. Nothing against, but just it's a different system, right? So I don't get why we as a nation, whether we're Democratic or Republican or independent, don't fight for the media. I mean, they make money from us. Again, we pay the government. We pay the media through commercials and everything else. And yes, it's a great system. And yes, we're not the inventor of every part of it. But yes, we can control it. We sit back and we complain about this or we complain about that, and suddenly you have a problem going on. And now we have out of the gate people calling people names. So I'm going to cut this short. I love you guys. I love what you're doing here. Go out, find somebody to say hi to. If you get a chance, shake somebody's hand, say hi to them, create a vibe. This country's ready for it. You're ready for it. I'm ready for it. It's not a big deal, but then we can start watch parties and we can really start to move towards the utopia that our founding fathers created. With that, I'm going to say, hey, I love you guys. Have a great night. Barbie and I will be back together next week, and just like we were last time. So visit the YouTube channel at Rod Duff 1939, no spaces, and visit the website rodduff.com. Again, all the letters together, www.rodduff.com. And with that, I say goodbye and good night, and love you guys. Say hi to somebody, shake somebody's hand. Bye for now. Someday I'll get the hang of this. I think I got it that time. All right, there you go.